Hey guys, welcome back to All Things Knives. It's your host Fletcher, and today we are doing an ode to carbon steels. So, here is my Opinel 7 in their carbon steel, right? Look at that beautiful patina on it. There you go, that's probably a little better. Beautiful patina. It's got some use behind it. I think I'm one sharpening in, and I'm probably about to do another one. If not a straw, I might just strop. But yeah, this guy's been a joy to use in food prep. So slicey, so thin. If Metal Complex ever sees this video, he will die upon watching it because he hates that. So anyone who watches, send this to him. Just annoy him with it, with the Opinel. Okay. Here is my BGM Knives Spade. This is the full size. It's full flat ground. Actually rather thin. Sorry about that. My angle was completely off. Rather thin. This is in 52-100. So pretty common carbon steel. I'm just going to set that sheath off to the side. And this is a Quaken that John sent to me in the same steel. So, title of this video, Ode to Carbon Steels. What exactly am I so excited about with carbon steels? Well, let's get into it. First of all, super easy to sharpen. Deburring is really nice and easy. They strop back phenomenally. They're rather tough. Really, the only drawback that I've ever really seen is that, you know, they can rust in patina. But I live in a rather dry place, so they just patina from what I handle, right? And patina to me is awesome. Like, it's like on my Carter, right? Like, you get to see exactly what your knife has been through. You can even control it in some ways if you want, but I kind of find that I like this. So, like, this is a natural patina, just me just rinsing it off and drying it afterwards, or maybe, you know, because oftentimes while I'm cooking, it'll sit for a little bit, and then I'll rinse it off and dry it. You can probably see on this that I'm getting some blue hues coming through as well. That's not the sun or anything. That's actually, I used it one day to stir my coffee. You know, this was clean, and I needed to stir my coffee, and I just went and I left that coffee on there because I was like, I wonder what it'll do to the patina. Kind of made it blue, and you know, because this was already kind of dark, and then it just brought this bluish hue to it that made it real beautiful. And that's something that people kind of look at it as a con, that it patinas, but it adds soul, and it just adds this look to it of just the story. It's like the whole story of everything this knife has cut is on the blade, and I really like that. I really like that. Same thing with this guy. So I did a mustard patina on this, and then the rest of it is just from use. So like this is the mustard patina. And then I did some on the other side. But the rest of the colors are from continued use. Right? So you can see kind of the difference between a controlled patina and then like the natural patina that you see kind of everywhere else. Right? And another thing too is, even if you do like an acid wash like this, the nice thing about it is it does postpone the patina, and it kind of controls it a little better. But as you see, like, you still get these kind of areas where you'll get this color that comes through that I really like. People who are OCD might not, but I just love that it carries part of the story on it. And a lot of people are afraid to let the carbon steel do its thing, you know, and let it patina. Now, you know, rust is one thing, but if you take care of your knife, you dry it off after use, you could maybe even oil it, or just kind of something to control the rate at which it oxidizes helps. But also just using it. There's something about just using it versus just letting it sit, to where it tends to get the magnetite and not the ferrocite on it, right? Or the ferric oxide or ferrous oxide is what I should say. Magnetite is this darker patina that you're seeing, and that's what's desired. That's the desired kind of look. Rust can be detrimental, but oftentimes when you remove the rust, what's below it is magnetite. And so people are kind of afraid to let these do their thing. And if anything, I say let it kind of do its thing, because when I started doing that with this Opinel, it made me just enjoy these carbon steels so much more. Like, for someone who might be afraid to let carbon steels do their thing, buy an Opinel. They're like $20. Let it do its thing. And then you'll kind of see that there's a beauty to it, and it's kind of cool, and that it's not just going to rust outright. And if you keep using it too, I've noticed it kind of keeps it from rusting as well. Like, it only kind of rusts when it just sits there, right? And so I find that the more that I use it, and the more I'm continually having something rubbing against the sides of the steel or against the edge, corrosion isn't a problem. Another thing is that they strop back phenomenally well. Like this guy had a burr that was, it was catching on paper, just about catching on. It was still cutting paper, but just about. And then I just did a couple, maybe 5 strokes total, stropping it back, and it was ready to go. It was pretty awesome. And shaving hair again, might I add. And the awesome thing is these carbon steels are tough, right? So they might be a more budget steel, but they're not going to be chippy or anything like that. And the edge life won't be as long as, say, something like a CPM steel that has a lot of vanadium in it. But because you can strop them, it almost adds to the life of the edge, right? And the fact that you're not having to sharpen it as much. I will say, too, is they still take a pretty toothy edge. Like, just listen to this. So you can still get some pretty amazing edges that I think even stainless steels miss out on, just because they're simpler. I feel like they're a joy to sharpen, and kind of just, they take you on this different kind of journey than a stainless does. People have this misconception that a low quality steel is the one that rusts, but I would say I would disagree, just because the attributes on these are awesome. Good edge stability, great sharpening, edge performance. It's a simpler steel, so comparatively to some stainlesses, the way the edge breaks down is way more enjoyable, and you can strop them back. Your simple stainlesses, unless it's a 14C28N, will not strop back, but whereas these carbon steels will. These will strop back really well and easily. And that is why I love carbon steels, is it's almost kind of like turning your knife carrying experience into an art almost. Like, to me, this is beautiful. Just this kind of, my favorite one is probably what's on this Opinel. And this actually patinaed pretty quick. Like, I just cut some vegetables, and then it started getting a patina on it. And then I just kept using it, and then it just kept going slowly. And then citrus actually is what did it pretty quick, was lime. So yeah, I mean, that's why I love carbon steels, and part of what kicked me off on it was I started using this, right? And then it got that patina, and then I started using this, and I was like, oh man, yeah, don't hold back. And so I started using these more. And so thank you to John for making a phenomenal product, and for sending it out to me, and kind of getting me on a little journey with carbon steels. I have more on the way. In terms of, I got like a larger Opinel to try, which I think you guys will enjoy. And so yeah, it's going to be kind of and some other knives and carbon steels that I haven't really been using because I've been afraid of the patina. And so now I'm going to start using those even more. So this is going to be kind of fun. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave down a comment below. Tell a story about maybe a carbon steel you like, or maybe why you don't like them, why you do like them. Any questions? Don't forget to turn on that notification bell. Lets you know when I post. And, as always, please subscribe. Helps out the channel. And don't you forget to stay sharp.